So we're gonna go ahead and get going. We want to thank everybody for pulling up and joining us today. First of all, let's just welcome our artists and give them a quick round of applause. Let's snap fingers, snap fingers. The amazing work that they did and their efforts to make this show what it was. So we're gonna get things opened. Wow, I can't seem to get that word out right then. We'll open up by just announcing or introducing everybody. My name is Ron. I guess I should say my name first since I got the mic. My name is Ron. I'm on the curator and the organizing team for this show. And to my right, we have Genevieve. Let her speak for us.
Hey, 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 I'm Genevieve Grace Fedele. I'm a recent graduate, so we're still getting into the art world of Atlanta. Only been here about a year. Um, that's it.
Sade Wilkins. I am a writer and producer, and I'm from New York originally, but I live here, and I did an art documentary called The A Stands for Art.
Hey everybody, my name is Shua Copeland, multidisciplinary artist from Atlanta, Georgia, born and raised, from the South Side. Yes, I'm an educator as well, aspiring educator. That's me.
No, Flex Aloysius. I create under the name Flex Aloysius, artist, designer. Um, Originally from Cleveland, Ohio. Also claimed Tulsa, Oklahoma. Been in Atlanta and in connection with the High Museum since about 2018, 2019.
Okay. Awesome. So y'all really did a great job kind of segueing us into my next set of questions and really just wanting to get an idea of how long, everybody's been in the seat that they're in respectively. How long have you been doing what you do? So
All right. Well, I mean, I feel many of us would say that we've been an artist ever since we can remember. Um, but painting wise, I moved around a lot, so I had to take beginner's art a lot, and I always gravitated towards paint. And then I went to AP art, and then I went to SCAD, and I was a painting major. And I just, the more you do art, the more you find your style, and ever growing, always, forever.
that's great. That's great.
Okay, I would say technically I've been producing since 2015, but I'm not gonna lie. Through this, I've been calling this a fellowship. That's what I've been telling everyone. I'm in a fellowship, Symmetry Fellowship. But this is like my first time thinking of myself as an artist, and that's because of you guys. To be very honest with you.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to say I'm a late bloomer, but I've always discovered one to be an artist or creative in some sort. I'll say like 2018, right after I left Alabama A&M. So yeah.
I would agree with the sentiment of kind of being an artist your whole life. It's just a matter of when you decide to own that title and kind of put that forth. I think I kind of hit a point where kind of had a coming to the mirror moment and kind of just look back and realize every time I always like to just jump head first into things. So I've tried a lot of different things, and I feel like every time I hit a point where something wasn't working for me, the first thing I would retreat back to was creative. So at a certain point, it was like let's stop making that the plan B, and let's just kind of put that forth. I always kind of just try to find different ways to step into it. So getting the job at the High Museum was me kind of just trying to gain more access to more inspiration and just being able to see what that world and that life might look like.
No, that's great, man. And I appreciate everyone's answer. That was part of artist talks, right? A lot of people aren't aware, so we might as well offer that piece too, right? Part of artist talks is to break down the barrier in the perspective between the artist and the observer. Simply put, a lot of people aren't really, I would say, in the position to picture the person that they admire or look up to, or look at the creator of the pieces that they appreciate as someone that they might be kin to or friends with. Everyone doesn't have that perspective. It's just not a thing. Certainly, I mean, this is part of that breakdown, though. So definitely appreciate everybody sharing their perspectives. That's why I really started what we did, and so really segueing into one of my next questions, because y'all share maybe one inspiration from your life. Share maybe one inspiration that has stuck with you along the way. It could be a person, place, or thing. It doesn't have to, just be. It could be an event.
Well, all I have, really and truly, something that I respect, is when someone hates something so much that they decide to do it themselves. So Kanye, I'm very inspired by him. Just in the instance of him hating like the clothes and then diving head first into fashion and then figuring it out. So that inspires me. That type of dedication and process.
For me, it's a bit everywhere. I'm gonna have to say my family, uh, my stomping grounds, me being from Atlanta, and then like my dad's side of the family, my people from Tuskegee, a lot of rich history and stuff like that. So I'll say, the Southern culture that inspires me because I love being Southern. You know what I'm saying? So I'll have to say that for sure. Right? My inspiration, my family.
I would say personally, um, I feel like I've lived in different places for each phase of my life. And of course, as a child, that's not really in your control, but it was like very in line. Like, lived in the same house, went to the same elementary school, moved to a different house when I went to a different middle school, moved to a different state when I went to a different high school. So I've just had multiple opportunities to reinvent myself. And being that new person in that place and having to realizing that there's no benefit in making yourself fit that place, more so defining what your place is and letting the right stuff kind of gravitate to you.
That's real. That's real.
Okay, so this question's actually really similar to the essay I wrote to get into SCAD. And it reflected on how did you, get started in art, what have you. And I actually, kind of similar to his answer, I'd say my grandparents. Both of my grandparents on my mother's sides are painters, but only on their own. And it really taught me growing up in a household where your relatives do art and you hang it up on your wall. It really teaches you that no matter your skill or no matter what you do in your day, you can still make work that is worthy of being shown and it's worthy of being hung up in your home. And that really got my gears going to I'd create and then my family would hang it up on their walls. And frankly, I have to tell my mom to stop taking my work. And just the support from my family and my nuclear circle has really helped me continue to never quit creating.
So I like what you said, right? It's been something specifically stood out to me. I think just because it's part of the exhibit work, right? Making work while also at work and you're working on other things. That's a whole nother lane and a whole nother topic. If we could open that bag just a little bit though, give y'all space to talk about the work that y'all do outside of creating. What does that look like for each of y'all?
Let me tell you, my day-to-day is an absolute mess. I am a recent graduate. I have moved here very recently. I am still using the Maps app to get to places. I don't know where I am. And what was the question? Oh, so I am a pet sitter. Book me on Rover. My name's Genevieve Fedele. I will spend 30 minutes with your cat, and I'll give him as much love as you want. And then I'm going to go across the street, and I'm going to hang out with your dog. And then one time, I booked some craziness. It's off topic. Anyways, I also work retail. So I am 3 days a week, I'm at one place, and then I do 5 different animals on the other day. So I like to work 20 minutes here, 30 minutes there, and then I'm up till 2 a.m. screen printing. It's a mess, but I'm young and it's supposed to be messy, and soon, hopefully, it gets easier.
And you get stronger. Also. Amen. Yeah. Amen.
I work in operations. I work with events. I worked with an ad agency, and I promise you, it's like I was telling someone, it's like I'm being put on the spot to play a championship games with my left hand, because I don't think like that. I don't think in spreadsheets. I think visually. So that's exactly what I do from my day to day. But I did learn that it gives me endurance to create because I'm working something that I normally never work.
Yeah, for me, I don't know. I stay creating outside of being a master student. Getting my a master's in art education, but I have my own creative agency as well, specializing in music industry, doing cover arts, art direction, creative direction, all that. And I facilitated workshops, teaching cover arts and doing stuff like that. So basically teaching and, teaching myself things, like just discovering all day. So, yeah.
I mean, I'm in a pretty unique situation, being able to work at an art museum. Um, so I like to just use that space for everything that I can get out of it. I get to interact with people in different departments, get to hear kind of the curator's perspective on things. So I get to hear more of the artist's perspective on certain things. So it kind of informs just different approaches to where I can kind of take my work, and just how the thought process does get respected as you hit certain points in your career. So I'm just kind of excited to see where things kind of go over time. But I don't know.
No, that's great. That's solid. All solid answers, man. Literally snaps. One time, just real quick. They're doing great. They're doing great. I'm hitting them with real questions, y'all. They didn't even get a chance to look at these questions. So, appreciate that. But I think, no buts, excuse me. My next question would be, what are some things that y'all look forward to with everything that y'all have on y'all plate? What are some things that y'all look forward to?
This is such a cheesy answer, but I just look forward to the sun going down. I get to scatter all my paint everywhere. I put on a bad reality TV show, and I just lose myself in the hours. There's nothing like the peace that creating brings. And I know it's like, ooh, she likes to make art. Well, yeah, of course I do. I got a degree in it. I'm sorry, that was sassy. You can have that.
Sorry.
Well, I'm looking forward to playing with my right hand this year. I'm looking forward to writing and filming and getting through it and executing on these ideas.
Yeah, for me, that's a good question. I don't know. Like, I'm looking forward to, being a better artist, showcasing my work more, being more vulnerable with my work, telling people who I am more. I think that's what I'm looking forward to, and just continue creating. I love creating, stay creating. That's what keeps me alive. So I think that's
It's real.
No, I definitely agree with the vulnerability aspect. For like the last couple years, I've just kind of been trying to get comfortable in my own space, in my own process, and I've gained comfort with being able to talk about that in certain spaces. So I appreciate the community of the Atlanta art scene that I've kind of immersed myself in more in the last year. So I'm just excited to just keep taking more steps forward and seeing where what path presents itself.
Right. Okay. That makes sense. Yeah. I mean, all y'all had solid answers. I mean,
Is that crazy?
no, go ahead. Finish it.
I feel like all of us can agree that we just look forward to, as an artist, learning, growing, and as he said, being uncomfortable in the uncomfortable, because art is such a huge umbrella, and there's so many avenues that you can take, and there's so much that you can learn from each other, and just growing the community.
Very fair. Very fair. So,
Actually, can I add one more thing?
Okay, go ahead. Wrap it up.
Another thing I'm excited for in the name of community, I'm actually, in the name of trying to carve a path, piloting a event for artists to share space at the High Museum. Just like the concept is kind of just bring your sketchbook, hang out with other people who are doing things, use the gallery space to kind of be inspired, and then come back and share this space. So I'm trying to see where I can take that in the next year. I want to do that like once a month. It should start on like the last Sunday of every month or something like that. But I would invite all of you to come, do whatever y'all want, bring your things, and we're trying to turn it into something cool.
That's cool. That's cool, man. We behind you on that idea.
Appreciate that.
Sure.
Absolutely.
Now we're about to get ready to wrap this up, but we do have a couple more questions. So these questions are not that deep. Just so y'all can breathe. It's just wanting to get a more perspective on the way that y'all see things, and really just kind of curious, what are some of y'all's favorite art styles? It could be in a different medium. What are some of your favorite art styles?
So my work's over here. It's the really bright, really flat work. I really connect to oh my god, what's his name? Keith Haring. That's my man. Um, he's so versatile. He's so simple, and I think the art world is so heavy so many times because it is important to make art that sends a message. But I think it's also important to like take a breath and enjoy yourself and look at some happy art that brings positive stuff, and then we can go and look at art about the economy. But let's take a second and let's relax and look at my work.
That's cool. That's cool.
All right, so I connected two things. Right now, like there's this big boom for people to be outside, um, and so I am drawn to like the idea of the experiential design, like the way in which we are approaching hospitality these days. And just post COVID, that idea of connection and what that looks like in real life. That's something that I've been drawn to lately.
Yeah, I say for me, spray painting and like airbrushing. I think I want to get in that space and just build a world with like most of my work, because most of my work is like digital art and illustration on Procreate. So I think I want to explore more physical aspects, spray painting and stuff like that, yeah. Or pastels and stuff.
What was the question? Just what other mediums?
Yeah, I mean, what other art styles are your favorite? Like, not other art styles. What art styles are your favorites? Like that you just that find yourself just spending time with in any space. It could be in a different medium.
Well, to blatantly answer that question, I'd probably say hip hop and cartoons.
Cool, cool.
On the visual side, I do like just design in general is a big thing for me. Like architecture, product design. So I definitely I'm trying to think through like what the through lines are, how I can communicate how my abstract work connects to the other things that I want to create. So I want everything to kind of fit in one universe or one umbrella.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Okay, so we're coming to a good close. I like everybody's answers. How would you describe if someone were to ask you what's work to you? How would y'all quickly answer that question?
Fun if you let it. Fun if you let it be.
What's work to me is all work. It is all work, and I think that as artists, we have to accept that. It's like the idea is like probably the best part of the entire thing. It's all work.
I'm gonna have to say push the work. You know what I'm saying? You got to keep pushing, keep it going. I think that's what's worked to me.
Oh, it's me. I think work is growth. I think work is being uncomfortable. I think work is, like you said, everything. I wake up and I'm immediately stressed about what I need to get done in order to achieve what I want in life. And then I go to bed thinking about, let me open my calendar and see where I have time to screen print. Can I fit some time in for my iPad? No, I have to go walk that Shih Tzu. Like, it's a mess and it's uncomfortable and it's exhausting, but I wouldn't change it for anything. Work is worth it.
I know we're talking about creative work. Well, I guess everything was supposed to be about creatives who also are working. Just that question just makes me think of my time at the museum, and it's I feel like I'm known at work for looking like I'm making sure I enjoy myself. Like even though the work is going to have its demands, and you still are making sure those things happen, you still are making time for yourself the best way that you can. So like when I do have my downtime, you will see me listening to my music, and I will visibly be enjoying my music.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, that's solid. That's solid. All right, all right. So time for a little feedback from y'all first. What are some things you learned from this exhibit? Like being part of it, and mind you, we are recorded, so don't say nothing bad about us. But no, y'all can share just anything y'all learned from this exhibit since we've been rolling together.
I think it's remembering that there's people out there that care. I think it's remembering that there are so many people who want their dreams to come true in the creative field, and that community is important. And to be a cheerleader as often as you can. I think it's important to show up for others. And there's so many hardworking people behind this whole, whatever you were to call it, like an art exhibit, maybe multiple events or a fellowship. I think it really made, like the Grinch, like my heart grew. I remember when they gave me the call that I got into the art show. I was sitting on my balcony with my boyfriend, and they were like, "You were in," and I just remember he picked me up, and I like twirled around, and I wanted to cry. I was so excited, and I like will never forget these people. And when I have a show, I'm gonna invite everyone. And when you have a friend in me, you have a friend for life.
Gotcha. Yeah, we behind you on your show too.
That's right, that's
yeah,
right.
We got
I'll
your
see you
back on
there.
two facts. So okay.
I'm gonna use that Uno skip card and come back to me.
Okay.
I say like, just being active. Like everybody was active, you know, the whole team, just showing love and just community. One to build community, one to have, you know, show artists that, you know, that we can do it and we can do it anytime, anywhere. And I think this programming was huge for me because I was looking for an opportunity to show my work and show who I am. So yeah.
I'd say I learned, and I'm continuing to learn. It's okay to accept support and allow people to be there for you. Like, I definitely appreciate everything that was provided in this process, like being able to get the headshots early and be a part of that whole process and being able to give input. So that's another thing. Yeah, accepting support and working on being able to communicate where you're coming from.
Solid. Sade, how you want to end?
You
How
stole
wanna
my
end?
answer, bro. But no, yes, to just add to what you're saying. Two things is what I learned. Like being able to be vulnerable in the process of accepting support. Not trying to control the support, but also, so that's like the first thing. I think that is essentially it. Just being able to accept the support. But there's one more thing, and it's like on the top of the tip of my tongue, and I lost it.
Well, not trying to control the support.
No, not yeah. That's the thing. But just even being able to present like your first draft and not like the perfected version. Being able to incorporate everyone in your process or the world in your process and not just being in the shadows, constantly refining is something I learned that is very useful.
That's fair. I feel like I'm learning that myself too. Okay. All right. So that's about all the questions I got for y'all. Does anyone want to take this opportunity to ask any questions? We got one in the corner.
So my question is in terms of like really just vulnerability with the artistry. So what is one thing about your art or creativity that you feel that fans don't know about you or don't pick up on yet that you would like them to see? So for artists, whether that's, you know, oh, I write dope hooks, but nobody really catch my hooks, or folks don't really catch the puns or the bars that I be saying, or whatever the case might be. What is that for you as an artist or creative?
That's so good. That's a really good question. You go first. You got it.
I would say for me personally, it's communicating what the process is in my work. I feel like my work can be appreciated more when you understand how it was put together. So I'm working on like how I present that, how I communicate that, and what that presence kind of looks like. Like with my work with the stickers, of course, it's like you can see. I don't think pictures really do my work justice. Like if you see it being made, that's one thing, but seeing it in person and understanding, seeing the texture of it and understanding how the layers work and everything like that. And over time, the material is going to change naturally. So it's like there's so many parts of it. Just the process itself is a big thing for my work. And even just with my work kind of being more abstract, the making process is very personal for me, but that has nothing to do with what you're supposed to get out of it. Like that process is yours. Like once it's done, my job is done, and this is for you to experience.
I'm gonna skip.
I will build up you right now. Me, and you. But aside, I think that there is So of course the process, but I think that there's a lot of refinement that is unseen, and I wish people knew about how much that is. I think that's my favorite part, actually. Like, you know, after the idea is like building the thing and then like refining, like chopping it. I know that's everyone's like worst part, but I think that's the best part.
Polishing it.
Yeah, but it's like I'm sanding it, like beyond like. But just speaking towards film, but also I wish people there was a we were a I guess to, I wish my bad.
You got it. You
I
got it.
wish we were able to show the public the amount of unsaid work, right? Like the amount of people managing you might have to do. I want to tell y'all a funny story, real quick. I know I'm like recording, so maybe I shouldn't tell the story.
Tell me the story.
But like literally, I had a pretty successful screening on Wednesday, thanks to y'all. And literally this morning, while I was sending out like the thank you emails, like I got a call from an artist. I didn't interview this person. I met them one time, and they called me saying like basically lightly accusing me of stealing their idea. And that is the people management that goes into like this kind of stuff. So yeah.
Okay.
We'll talk about how you handle that later.
I know it's like, wow, I was gonna agree with it's the process, you know? Like sometimes I grab a canvas and I know exactly what I'm gonna make. Sometimes I grab a canvas, I have no idea what I'm portraying or what I'm telling you until it's done. And I think I have no idea how to answer this question. I'm sorry. It was a really good question though, but I think it's
No, you got it.
okay. I truly like my first response was not a lot of people take me seriously because it's such a light, whimsical. Oh, there's a little girl. She wants to be an artist and she makes ribbons. Like, oh, it's so silly. No, I'm taking this seriously. I went to college. I have a degree. You're gonna take me as serious as the man who's doing political work. You know, my work is just as important as others, and maybe it's being a woman in the art field, maybe it's this, that, whatever. But it's frankly how serious I wish people would take me as they take others is really important to me.
You finished that very well.
Thank you for believing in me.
Uh,
Now, what's your man?
that was a great question. I'll say for me, speed. I think a lot of people don't know I have a lot of work in the vault, and I think the process too. Like, one, to talk about the process, because I get that a lot. Like, what is your process since it's digital? And I'm not gonna lie, I don't want to tell my process because it's my process. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's my process, and I think for me, it's spiritual for me. So I'm in my own realm. I'm locked in. I'm focused. So I think that's. I don't know if that answers your question, but that's my answer.
Cool, that's cool. We got a couple more. We can go here to the wall first.
First of all, kudos. I love this whole exhibit. I think it's absolutely beautiful and brilliant. I love the diversity of the exhibit. I wanted to ask y'all about music in particular and how important music is to what you do. Because it's interesting, Flex. I see all these high museum stickers, and I actually curate Friday Jazz at the High Museum every third Friday of the month, where we bring jazz and art together and pull people out like that. We've been doing it for a long time.
I thought you looked familiar.
But I wanted to ask y'all about how influential music is as artists to you, because there's an old quote from Quincy Jones where he said like music is the highest of all the arts because it's the closest to God. And when you think about it, there's a lot of truth to that in so many different ways. But when I look at your pieces, like I look at Joshua's pieces, and his pieces have that collage kind of Romare Bearden feel that it's like a mixed media type of thing, which is a fusion of different ideas. And then I look at Flex's medium, which is the same kind of concept, taking found things and doing something different. Or I look at what Genevieve has done with these really incredible bright colors and kind of whimsical images that can mean so many different things. Like that picture right there reminds me of like the video game Cuphead. I don't know if anybody's ever played Cuphead, but it reminds me of like, you know how they took the music of the 30s and applied it to something new. So I wanted to ask y'all, how important is music to you? And of course, Sade, your name is just it just kind of speaks for itself. But I do want to talk to you too about documentaries because I just finished a documentary that I've been working on for 13 years called Stepping Into Tomorrow, which tells the story of electric jazz in a modern sense and how it inspired every genre. So I want to ask all of y'all, how important is music to what you do? And if there's an artist that you could highlight that is like that artist that is the pinnacle influence for you.
All right, this can be, first off, I've always wanted to do jazz at the museum. I hear it. I listen to 91.9 on the radio. It's a jazz station. I love it. Yeah.
So I work at WCLK.
I love that place.
I'm on the radio.
I'm always like turning it up. Yes, like I love that radio station. Off topic, but this can be ridiculous. I really like Beethoven. I love Beethoven. I remember I actually was listening to Beethoven when I made the Pink piece. My favorite is number 9. I think the chaos of his rhythm, it's so overwhelming that it drowns out everything in my head. And all I hear is the sound, and I'm able to get as messy, as loose, as free as I can be. And frankly, music with no lyrics is so underrated, and it's so powerful for the soul. And I agree that even as a painter and a fine arts, music is the highest form. And I'm gonna listen to some jazz later tonight.
I guess for me, I have a thing with like the 70s, right? I think that all the music that we listen to is just a bunch of knockoff version from the 70s. Not knockoff, but it's just, you're just sampling, resampling, but it's all from the 70s. So usually that is where I go to if I have to like do some work, just because it's groovy. I already know the words, so the words aren't gonna like impact like my thinking. So that is what I go to like figure out like a groove for me to build on. Like work-wise.
It's a great question. What's up, Mr. J? I'm gonna have to, man. I love music. I'm not gonna lie. That's my thing. But like when I made like the "Why Judge Me" right there on the left, I was listening to West Side Gun. I don't know, it don't match, but I was listening to West Side Gun, and for me, I can go in different patterns like jazz. I can go with John Coltrane to Miles Davis, Max Roach, people like that. And then like I said, I go in a different bag. You got West Side Gun, Bodie James. Like I love all that, and I think I don't know. I can go on and on. I think that's it for me with music. Yeah. I just go all around with it. Yeah.
Yeah, music is kind of everything. Like you said, with the sticker work, especially when first working on how I'm communicating that again, that's kind of a big thing that I kind of think about. But in getting into that, every word that I put out, I was like, this is literally talking about sampling music for hip hop. Like that's literally all I'm doing is taking something that has a story already and making my own story out of it. So that's a big thing for me. Your answer just reminded me of the quote of jazz music is black people's classical music, and every word he said about how classical music and the Beethoven sits with her, it's the same thing for me. I can throw on a Miles Davis album, let that rock while I'm doing something, thinking through my own processes and everything with the sticker work and everything, and just kind of losing myself in that space. And again, West Side Gun, I could run Reasonable Doubt. I've been in a crazy kick lately of running through my old SoundCloud likes. It really just puts you back in like that, our personal prime era. Like I don't know what every generation has like their golden eras, I feel like. And ours is like that SoundCloud mixtape era. So I've been running through all of those tapes lately and just remembering every single word and enjoying my time in my studio. So that's been a big thing for me, getting that speaker for my studio this year.
Real quick, I think somebody should do a documentary on that era of music. I think that was like the freest.
I feel like I saw somebody is working
Like the
on it.
block
I can't remember
era?
who it was,
It was
but it
the
was somebody
freest.
in the era.
You got Currency, you got Wiz, you got everybody.
Yeah, like what?
LA, like the people who have like become so big now they don't have to do much, but like they were everything for a good few years.
Man,
Beautiful.
y'all touched the pocket with that SoundCloud area.
Yeah, that's our golden era, yo. They won't give it to us, but that's the golden era, bro.
That re-release days before rodeo last year was ridiculous. Then he dropped the flyer for that on Tumblr. Like that was.
We got one more question. Thank you for that question, also, by the way. Yep.
My question to you all would be, Flex, I know that you said you acquired the role at the high and a desire to like increase your accessibility to like arts and things of that nature. But I'm curious, has there been any unforeseen obstacles that also come with maintaining a role that's so close to the space that you want to be in, where it's, you know?
Yeah, it's interesting because being that place, you get a lot of like celebrities that just come in for whatever. Like there's a big show that's going on, and I always just remember the thing like Kid Cudi talking about when he worked at the vape store, and if somebody famous came in that he recognized, he would hide because he didn't want them to look at him like the work. And I don't really have that luxury all the time to be able to remove myself from that situation, but just being able to treat them and just give them the same service as everybody else. I don't have to do the most and kind of fan out in that stance, and let that, like, just kind of let the work kind of be what it is. Having a creative name separate from my government name is kind of a part of that as well. Like I do kind of appreciate the separation between the two. So I would more so rather meet you later and let that be a eureka moment than I'm trying to show all of my value right here when you just came here to see some artwork. So it's like it can be a barrier, but you don't have to let it be.
For sure. Do any of the other artists, do you all like face similar challenges and just balancing your day-to-day work and your artistry, where say for yourself, Shua, you might run into like a collector while you're at school, or like for yourself, Sade, you might run into someone you might want to interview, but you're working in, you know, the ad agency capacity. Like how do you kind of manage and go about working through those instances?
I haven't had too many of those. Oh, well, you know what? I do, because, you know, I work in brands, right? I work with brands, and a lot of the time I really just want to take the email and use it for myself. I'm not even going to lie. But obviously I can't do that, right? So what I realized that I am good at is building relationships outside of work, and providing. I think that when you're kind to people and you provide like a really good service, because I realize that people hate working with other people, like just off the rip. So if you're just decent at what you're good at your job and just nice, people really will return to you in some capacity outside of the work, and then you could build that way.
Yeah, I haven't dealt with that yet. So
I think for me, not to toot my own horn, but I feel I'm very good with people. And one thing that comes with being a pet sitter is you run into a lot of people. You know, I have to be charming. I have to be likable off the rip because you're taking care of someone's like little baby. So I've learned to build like a good approach towards others, and I've had instances where I'm working my retail job and I wear my ribbons to work. Of course I do. I wear them all the time. And I've had one lady, she was buying 8 chairs. She was buying 8 chairs online, so I was working with her on the register, and it was a long transaction. But through talking with her, I was learning that she was in the art field. She gave me her business card, and basically, I've just learned that I need to be really good at charming the socks off people, and that's how you build connection, through conversation. And working in random jobs, I haven't felt worried to be approached as like they're lower because I'm clocked in. They need my help to buy those pants. So I'm going to take a long time to make the transaction so that you can hear me talk. So it's all about having a good approach to the conversation.
Very fair. That's very fair. Well, I think we might have gotten all the questions out of the crowd, and we definitely have kept y'all long enough. We got one more?
Yeah, I'm sorry I'm late, but I'm a local artist too in Atlanta. I just wanted to. This is my first time coming. Is this like something that could be somebody that's in the art field? They could definitely an avenue for them to explore new, you know, what I'm saying, ways to brand themselves or become more of a artist and get known in the city, or like what works? Is it more for just to show you all's work and get out to the collective, or to reach out to collectors? What is the whole basis? I'm late too, so forgive me. For sure. Well, my name is Mayo Layla. I'm a Morehouse College graduate. I'm an executive director of Symmetry Lens, and essentially, What's Work is a program that me and my friends Ronald Bradley and Dylan Steele, we concocted, and the whole hope behind it was really to shine more light on administrative and academic professionals that support the arts ecosystem here in Atlanta that might not always get the space to showcase their work and things of that nature. And this is our first time doing What's Work, so well, we're still kind of deciding as to like we'll make it an annual thing or whatever may have you. But I would say the reception in terms of like what the concept was and what our goal was in terms of creating conversation around working and that dynamic and things of that nature has been like very well and stuff like that. So I definitely could see us doing something in the future around that. That's cool. Yes, sir. All right. You look familiar too, okay, for sure, for sure. We got that.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
So what did y'all learn this year about doing this?
Okay. Right. Different seat. I think I was reminded of a lot, and I think I learned a lot about how to be flexible in the professional capacity that I'm leaning into. And I say this because I've honestly been learning a lot on my own, right? And not just being fair with y'all because I hadn't told anybody my background. I'm a Morehouse College graduate too, just like my brother Emmanuel Law. And as Emmanuel said, he's executive director. I'm been right behind him every step of the way, just with everything that's been going on. I recently just moved, so I don't even live in Atlanta anymore.
Where are you?
I'm actually in Tallahassee. So I know, right? And I'm barely there just because my job has me travel so much. The work that I do, okay, I work in healthcare sales, cool. But I studied physics in school. I was in engineering. I really don't have a direct track to working with artists until I graduated. Like I or any direct experience working with artists until I graduated. I got a lot of experience working with artists in 2022, 2023, and last year. This past year in 2024, I said last year. 2024 is the year that I was speaking of. 2022 up to now, pretty much, just calling out each year individually, because again, expanding my capacity to service each person that I work with as a professional is really just honestly a transparent part of the game that I can't drop the ball on. You know, what I mean, if we do, then there's a lot of things that don't happen. You know, so being able to be as present as I can be. Number one, and then also learning how to make sure that being reminded of making sure that everything is kind of checked off in a way. Because I can't say I just learned that aspect, but learning it in a new way with new, you know what I mean, new faces and new people in a new space. So wanted to make sure that I was being transparent with y'all. That's something that I was really reminded about, and I feel like the new thing that I learned was. I feel like saying and doing it with y'all is cheating, right? But it's the truth. It's like honestly, it's different every time. Like, and the way we present things in context changes from place to place. Everything matters. Where you are matters. So, saying that, we were also incorporated just other partners. We had a lot of other partners that worked with us this along the way this time around. So building relationships with them and being able to go to their events earlier this year and so on and so forth was great too. And honestly, how to do this. You know, I didn't host the artist talk last time around. So this is my first time hosting the artist talk, and y'all could give me feedback and let me know how I did. But this is pretty much something I think that y'all are witnessing me learn right now. So